Okay, we're going to take a look at general rules when you strike the ball and which way you should move. If both players understand these general rules, so here we are, we have a line, and we're going to choose the line which is the back of the service box. So you're striking the ball behind that line. So that line becomes this line here. If you're striking the ball behind this line, so in other words, if your feet are standing behind that line, generally you'll move back around behind your opponent, so you move back up around this way. And that's the way the general rule works. So if we continue on, and okay, so she's standing in front of that line, so she will cut back towards the front. So that movement there, because she is here in front of this line here, foot is generally in front, or body position is generally in front, so she'll cut back in front, and this player will cut back around behind, and that's the way it will work from there. So we go, continue the rally. This one is an obvious one, once again from behind, so she'll cut back around behind. And once again, we're in front, so she's going to cut around in front, maintain front position. Both players understand that's what's happening, and we'll go from there. Now, the biggest problem is when it becomes a little bit contentious or a little bit tight. In other words, the balls that are struck when it's generally around about that line are the ones where most players will have trouble, and where the altercations will come in. This one's just behind the line, so it's getting a little bit tighter. And then we come to around about here. So once again, this is where the rule really helps out players, because it is once again behind the line. So she should move back out towards the center of the court and allow her opponent to come in front. And this one, once again, is not that far off. And it depends on your opponent's position on the court and everything as well, obviously. And here we are here. This is well in front of the line. So once again, if you notice here, you'll notice that the opponent is actually virtually in front, but she's going to cut back behind because she struck the ball in front of that line and she's going deep. Obviously, if she was going short, then she'd just move straight up to the front court. But what's going to happen here, she's going to have to duck back this way. She's going to have to double back simply because she struck the ball in front of that line, which is a general rule, not always the case, but it generally happens all the time. And if we watch what happens, so she'll cut back around behind. And here we go. This one's behind because she's well behind the line. And this one's a level, but she's gone cross court. Okay, so it's a pretty simple thing. The contentious ones are these ones here, where she's pretty close and she struck the ball almost when she's level with the line. And so they're the ones, but these are the ones where it depends on your opponent's position on the court. So if your opponent was, let's say, because she's up here, then it means that she's going to be able to take front position because she's well in front on body line. So that the position of the court of the striker is way back here on this line here, and the position of the opponent is up here. So it means that she's going to basically be able to take front position, or has front position already, so she'll maintain that position. And so if we look at the next contentious one, which is this one here. Okay, so this one, because she's generally got front position and she's going to drive the ball down the back, it's almost even a 50-50 situation, so it needs to be a good drive, or there can be some serious altercations. And if anything's driven wide from here, then it potentially will be a stroke situation. So it's a quality drives needed, or a lift-up drive to push the ball down the back. And if we watch what happens, so she'll just cut back around behind. So they're the contentious ones, are the ones that can go either way. So she could choose to peel back and around, and often what you'll do at high level is in that situation, if she drops back, and I'll do another video on this some other time. This is seriously good. If she dropped back this way and took the ball here, right, just on that line, her opponent would then have to come in, and she'd have a shallow entry on the ball going back into the back corner. So as long as she drove deep, and if she took it from here, so if she took the ball from here and drove deep and made her opponent cut around in front, then all of a sudden what happens is the line that she's running is this line instead of this line, which means it's much harder to get the ball deep and strong. So at high level, I've got lots of arrows on the screen, I apologise for that, but I'll do another video on this and explain it once I get the right situation on the court. Okay, there's times when you have to be really assertive with your movements. So here we've got James Willstrop's going to pop the ball down the back, and Gollins comes in and volleys. He'll cut back to the tee, like we said. He cuts out in front because he took the ball in front of that line. Now James is going to go through and make his direction known really quickly. He's struck in front of that line once again, but they're both level. And he's just gone through aggressively with his body and told his opponent which way he's going. So in that situation, it's really up to the player who volleys to make it really well known and really strong in his movements that this is what's going to happen, and your opponent will just fall in line and just work out which way to move around that. So if that situation comes, be very assertive in your direction, be very positive in your direction, and then it will work out just fine. Everything will come together really. If the ball is in front of that line, if you strike the ball in front of that line, you will generally move in front of your opponent and they will generally cut back. And that's what will happen. And if you strike the ball behind that line, then you'll move behind, you'll move back this way, and they will come in from the front, then they will come in from this way. And so hopefully you can understand all that, and it's a pretty simple thing. I'll just show you the whole rally again. You can get the whole gist of what's happening, how it works. So it's back out the back, it's out the front, she's behind, so it's out the back, she's out in the front, around the back, 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 and that's a front one once again, and that's where the rally finishes. So there you go. I hope that simplifies things, and it is a general rule. It doesn't always happen, but it happens 95% of the time. So hopefully that cleans things up on the court for you for your general court movement.